Welcome. This is Ezekiah Chiaka. Thank you for joining me in this special interview that I have today about leadership. Many people have visions, many people have assignments that they want to accomplish in life, but I believe it takes leadership in order to effectively implement and accomplish our visions. Today I have Pastor Peter Mtasa here with me. Is the founder of Call Unto Me Ministries here in Mesquite, Texas. Welcome, Pastor.
Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you so much for giving me your time to talk about this great responsibility
Yes.
of leadership.
Yes.
And I'm really honored to have you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
My first question to you is, how did you come into leadership?
You know, Pastor, the way that happened, and now that you're asking me that question, it had to do with what I call the process of being discipled. It wasn't like somebody sat down to say, I want to take you along the process of becoming a leader. But there were qualities that had to come along with the responsibilities that I became part of when I came to Christ. And so the pastor and some of the senior brothers who had walked with the Lord, they would take me along certain times and just explain what they said were good qualities of a person that is responsible over others. So simple things like maybe just even witnessing and how to follow up that. They will tell you the principles of how you ought to see yourself as bringing somebody up. And so by so doing, they'll tell you, if you promise that you're going to call them at such a time, make sure you call them. If something is coming in the way, excuse yourself.
Wow.
Don't just fail to call and then someday just show up. You lose, according to them, they say you lose your integrity.
Wow.
So if you make an appointment to meet with them, maybe there's certain scriptures you wanted to give them or just to find out how they're doing. Meet with them at the time you're appointed. If anything, they say, be there. My pastor used to say, be there 15 minutes at least ahead of time.
Wow.
So it is those things that they engraved in you, and as you embrace them, I didn't know that I'm being trained as a leader.
Wow.
But it was actually that process of being taken along different circumstances, different situations, and be equipped on how to conduct yourself and to ensure that the image of Christ you were portraying, it is of a superior quality.
Wow, that's really great. That's really great. I understand with leadership there comes along great responsibility.
Sure.
Can you talk to me about what are the challenges that you have faced so far as a leader?
I think the first challenge I must say is sometimes the feeling of inadequacy. You just maybe, I don't know whether you're reading too much on the results of perhaps where you're trying to apply some effort, or sometimes meeting complex circumstances, and still wondering how can you either motivate or bring somebody to shift or different setup of the things that they might be dealing with. So part of it really comes where sometimes you feel like my resources, that I can employ. It's like maybe they seem like either quickly exhausted, and sometimes I feel like you just don't know how to proceed after maybe a certain like stalemate. You might be dealing with somebody whose circumstance doesn't seem to be changing, and so the fact that you keep maybe going back to the same issues that you feel like, well, they haven't moved further from here. So you feel really limited and challenged because of the sort of like inadequacy of really the impact you desire.
Okay.
So those, I would say, are major challenges to really look at it and say, is this impact, one that I can say speaks of success, or it's an impact where you feel like, oh man, I'm sure there's something else that could be done.
All right. But as much as there are challenges to leadership, there are also benefits.
I agree.
What would you say are the benefits of leadership?
I think one of the obvious benefits of leadership is the opportunity to really impact someone's life, and make maybe somebody dream something they never dreamed, or begin to realize something within them that was lying dormant, and they never believed themselves that they could do something or they can be worth something, and yet it's like you release them from maybe being bound in terms of just stuck. And now I think the beauty of it is when somebody now begins to feel like, oh my, I didn't know that I can actually provide this to others, encouragement, or I can minister to others, or I can be depended on by others. Others can also look at me. So I think the beauty of leadership, the benefits is to really see you able to really draw something out of somebody. And
in essence, you get fulfillment out of that.
It is fulfillment, yes. It is the greatest fulfillment, more than somebody giving you money.
you can say that. Let's talk about source of encouragement. I understand as much as you have many people who look up to you as probably a channel that God uses to encourage them. But for you, what would you say is your source of encouragement?
Pastor, I must say that it's a little varied. Part of it has been, I honestly want to say, individuals.
Okay.
Individuals, for instance, there's certain people who the Lord opened a door to step into my life. And I'm not want to flatter you. You're one of the people that, So it's like those individuals who have a way of walking with God that challenge you.
Okay.
And so because they have a way of walking with God that challenge you, you look up to them, and then you have many times that it might not be formal, but you talk around things, especially that touch leadership, and they drop nuggets.
Wow.
Know, and you always cherish that, because you take that, and that helps you, continue to frame also your leadership skills, and then the books. There are quite a number of books that I do read.
Can you be specific on the books? Which books or the author?
I want to be honest with you. There's a lady. She's called Madame Guyon. She talks about intimacy with Christ. She talks about really the pursuit of Christ. There's a man, A.W. Tozer. He speaks about also this way of walking, a deep walk with the Lord, and so it continues to speak more of surrender, more of denying self, more of losing everything in order to gain the Lord. And so it's like it keeps that perspective of wanting to know what it was with these people. That they could have walked such an intimate and closer walk, a walk that sort of looks like people were truly, maybe dying to self and
Okay.
taking the cross. So it is that, and of course there are other leaders that are out there, and people that we know even in the Christian community, T.D. Jakes and people like that. When they teach, you listen to the teaching on YouTube videos or on TV, they challenge you because they always have something, an insight in the aspect of leadership.
Wow.
And I draw from that also to really kind of continue to enhance what the Lord is putting in me.
Wow, that's so great, Pastor. I understand as a leader, you have a whole lot that has been put on your shoulders, a lot of work and expectations from the
Right.
people that you're leading.
Right. Yeah.
Can you talk to me? How do you balance your workload as a leader and family life?
It's challenging. It's challenging. That fits into one of your questions about the challenges. It is challenging, Pastor. And so here's the attempt and the effort that I try to do. The balancing comes in and where I don't necessarily say, okay, this is a cutoff of family, so to speak. And
Okay.
now, but it is to try to live in such a manner that it's seamless. It's really connected. The way I try to manage the affairs at the family level is in such a manner that the things that I seem to literally also use same approach, same styles.
Okay.
As would require the work of God.
All right.
The difference could be just the particular circumstances that
Okay.
you'll be dealing with. But one of the things has been to honestly, deliberately, at some point, choose to say, okay, I need to take time aside.
Okay.
So I need to take time aside. For instance, if I'm going through a certain book, I need to make sure that I take time aside to attend to that.
Okay.
And one of the things is to ensure that, okay, this is at a time that maybe the kids have come to school maybe, and if my wife is going that evening to work, okay, the dinner and everything is taken care of. This year we're going through the Bible as the church, including my family. We kind of encourage each other to see where we are, and and I help with the homeworks if there's some homeworks and the kids. And then I withdraw myself most of the times. Perhaps it could be after even 8:30 at night. I kind of withdraw myself, and sometimes what I do, I just sit for a moment, just kind of get my myself, my bearings and everything, kind of just breathe a sigh of relief from a long day. And so sometimes then from that I can transition slowly. Sometimes I transition maybe by just doing my Bible reading portion, and then sometimes I probably just choose maybe to pray, and that prayer maybe is introduced by just some worship background music. And sometimes I just do it really at the church, just to go to the church.
Wow.
And see it. And then it is in those moments. Maybe there maybe even some issues that I know are going on in the congregation, and then sometimes it depends whether I feel prompted that I need maybe to call somebody, maybe just talk to somebody a little bit, and do a little bit of some counseling or some help, and pray with them on the phone.
Wow.
And then maybe transition to perhaps it could be preparing for teaching that's coming that midweek, or so it is really different components, but those components I would say they're deliberate.
Okay.
They're deliberate. I just want to make sure that eventually at the end of the day I say, okay, I moved further steps on this one. I moved further steps on this one.
Wow,
Yeah.
that sounds really, really profound. The next question will be kind of personal.
Yes, sir.
Apart from your vision
Yes.
for the work, your
Yeah.
vision for the ministry,
Right.
well, can you talk a little bit about your personal vision?
That's a good question, Pastor, because I think recently I sort of thought about that. I really did. I sort of thought about that. Now, one of the things that I have been revisiting is to pursue an academic, you know, qualification.
Okay.
In the area of obviously of theology. So I've been thinking about that, and I thought, you know, maybe I need to just perhaps ream back on that, on, you know, and move along, you know, at a pace that can balance with just the weight of everything else, and because I have run into some brethren and some organization. This organization actually it provides leadership training and development for churches. Now, one of the things that they also desire is that certain leaders, certain pastors, and certain churches can establish satellite campuses at their churches. And to be able to easily train the leaders within your congregation, and even a little beyond, because anybody else can come to enroll and be part of that. So I've been looking at that very closely, and I've been thinking, again, looking at this issue, challenge of leadership, and, you know, and how sometimes you can be limited to how to really build that component within your ministry. So I've been thinking about that as a very important step towards that goal. So I see that as a personal vision, as something that I feel like, okay, I need myself to really get to this level in order for me maybe finally to facilitate for others in that direction.
Wow. That's pretty good. Thank you, Pastor Peter. Thank you so much for your time. I've received some powerful insights from your experience as a leader. Thank you so much. That was Pastor Peter Mtaso, the founder of Call Unto Me Ministries here in Mesquite, Texas. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.